we put Subaru's dual X mode to the test in this ice-cold episode of Driving Sports TV. Subarus are known for being go-anywhere, do-anything adventure vehicles. On this very channel, we've tackled hills, forests, and even trekked through an Icelandic blizzard from behind the wheel of one of these very sensible wagons. In terms of adventure, one of Subaru's most important innovations in the last several years is their X-Mode off-road system. In simple terms, this is a special setting that modifies throttle, engine output, brakes, all-wheel drive torque split, and the transmission to optimize traction in slippery conditions. Anytime you need more grip, just hit a button and you get more capability. Some of Subaru's more enthusiast-focused models, like the new Crosstrek Sport with the 2.5-liter engine and the Outback Onyx XT, have what's called dual-function X mode. This adds a second setting that allows for more tire rotation when attempting tricky situations. It's for the times when you need more traction, but you're afraid that if you stop, you'll be stuck. It's kind of like original X mode with the traction control disabled. However, here they've optimized all aspects of the vehicle, so it's not exactly the same thing. Subaru calls this second setting Deep Snow and Mud. All dual mode systems also have original X mode as their first setting. Today we're going to see how dual function X mode helps in various winter conditions. Our test course includes forest roads and a standard hill climb location covered in fresh snow. The vehicle will be our long-term 2020 Subaru Outback Onyx XT. The Onyx XT is carried over to the 2021 model year with only minor changes. It features a turbocharged boxer engine with 260 horsepower, Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, and of course, dual-function X mode. So we have a couple of tests set up today. First, we're going to look at Subaru's X mode system, specifically dual X mode as found in this Outback, to see exactly how well does it manage power and thrust as we're going through super slippery conditions in a rock climb condition. We're going to go to our regular rock climb test area, which has been covered with a fresh blanket of snow. And then we're going to swap it out with winter tires to see how much better that system can be when you have proper tires on the vehicle. It's going to be a fun day. The temperature is currently 34 degrees. The hill climb here is covered in about 5 inches of fresh snow. Nobody's been up this yet, and I do know that for sake of a tire comparison, it'd be nice if it could be all scientific. However, this is real world. We're going to go up it with the all seasons. We're going to come down it. There will be tire tracks. I am aware of this. Yes, that gives a slight advantage to the winter tires that we're going to test this on later. In the meantime, we're going to learn a lot about how dual X mode works. Now, there's two different X modes. There's snow dirt and there's deep snow and mud. The only real difference that you need to know is that deep snow mud allows for more wheel spin, which helps you keep momentum. Does that actually pose an advantage in weather like this? Let's find out. So here we go. I have no idea if this is going to work. So all seasons, up a rocky hill climb. Right now I'm just in X mode, snow and dirt. Actually, you know what? Let's turn off X mode. Let's see what we got. Now there should be a lot of wheel spin as the system shuffles power around. Now the Outback here, it has the all-wheel drive system that has basically 60% to the front, 40% to the back. And it uses wheel braking to redistribute power around. Okay, I'm already having tons of problems. I can't even move here. And I'm hardly out of the gate. Let's see, a little momentum. Okay, a little momentum, we got this. But I'm squirreling all over the place. Like, this is not gonna work. So let's go ahead and switch it into X mode, snow and dirt, and see if that improves things. Already, it's using traction control programmed for this kind of a situation. What it does is it manages my throttle a little bit better, cuts power a little bit so that it's a smoother power on, and it's more aggressive in shuffling that power around and detecting slippage. Oh, it's still a challenge though with these all seasons. Now up here is challenging even when it's dry because it's going to lift two wheels off. Ah. Can it make it up? I don't know if it'll do this. Let's see. Oh, come on, standard X mode. Wow, even standard X mode's getting me through the tough stuff. So right there, I had no wheel on the ground back there, and these two wheels were on snow. And I'm still sliding all over the place, but I'm making it. Okay, well, let's switch to deep snow and mud and see if we can get more wheel spin, if that helps the situation. I'm gonna back up just slightly. Okay, and go. Because I was spinning the wheels so enthusiastically, the Subaru thought I had exceeded the 18 mph speed limit for X mode. It therefore shut the system off. You can see that there is less wheel braking engaging, which means less control in these challenging conditions. We had already been through the hardest part of the course, so from here on out, standard all-wheel drive with a little momentum got the Outback to the top. Let's try that course again. So here we are on the second run. We already have one set of tracks down so that we can see exactly how this will respond with both standard tires as well as snow tires. But right now we're focusing on X mode, dual X mode specifically, which comes on only a few different Subarus. It's available on the Outback Onyx XT, and it's also available on the new Crosstrek Sport, the one with the bigger engine. So right now I'm in deep snow mud, which gives me the maximum slippage in the wheels, which kind of helps me keep momentum up challenging situations like we're in right now. And the way one of these all-wheel drive systems work is you have to keep your foot in the throttle. You can't stop. And you also can't just floor it, but you need to keep a constant pace. And then as you keep the throttle in, the system will shuffle power around between the different wheels as it predicts it needs to. Come on. Now we're deep snow and mud. Is this gonna get us out? What? This is doing a brilliant job. And watch those rocks. Oh, okay, so this is something you need to watch out for. As you're throttling and going faster, sometimes it'll detect that you're going too fast for X mode and shut you off. So right now I just switched into normal because my wheels were spinning so much. Now I'm switching it back into deep snow and mud. And now the power is shifting around again like I want it to, so I have more control on this ascent. This perhaps best illustrates how X mode works. Look at the front wheel. When it's not enabled below, it spins free. However, on the top, when it engages, it pushes power to the back wheels. X mode, making it easy. Nice. So X mode, it is incredible on the ascent. It still has one more party trick up its sleeve though, and that is hill descent. So I'm just gonna flip this around. I'm gonna line it up, and automatically hill descent control is on. Now it'll set a pace depending on what my approach speed is. So right now I'm stopped completely. I'm gonna slowly lift my brake, and now we're descending at about 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour. Pretty controlled so far. Go into the ditch there. 2 miles an hour, 3. That's kind of where you want to be on a tricky descent. I would prefer it if I could go as low as 1 mile per hour, but I always have my brake pedal if I want to just push that on. Nice. So there you have it. Even in fairly kind of somewhat, okay, 5 inches isn't terribly deep snow, but it's, you know, it's at least not causing clearance issues because of the 8.7 inches of ground clearance on this. But even in snow like this, X mode can really help maintain control and get you places you didn't even know you could go. That was fun, but now let's do it with snow tires and see what the difference is. rolling down to where it was level and paved, I swapped out the stock all-season Advent GTs for a set of Vredestein Wintrac Pro winter tires. The Wintrac Pros are specifically designed to handle snow and ice conditions like we have today. As you can see, the winter tires have siping, as well as larger blocks. But the real benefit here is in the compound, which stays flexible in cold weather. The all-seasons are as hard as rocks right now. We'd like to give special thanks to Vredestein for making this video possible today. Sure, we could have just done an X-Mode snow test, but you really should wear proper tires in conditions like these. Let's move on and finish this test. Hey, now that we have the Vredestein Wintrac Pros on, we're going to head back up the mountain. It has thawed a little bit, but I'm expecting that we'll have very similar surface cover. This is not a scientific test, so yes, the conditions are slightly different. Unfortunately, in a real world situation, there's really not much we can do about that. I have the Avid GTs in the back with me, and I'm keeping them with me because I want to maintain the same weight that I had when I first went up. Because when I first went up with the Avids on the vehicle, I of course had the snow tires behind me. Now, same situation, different tires. Now here's a little known fact, is that some rallycrossers actually use winter tires as rallycross tires because they have bigger blocks that really helps get through slippery mud conditions. Now granted, the compounds don't really benefit you as much, but they are a softer compound, and of course they also have those thicker block designs. So if you only rallycross every once in a while and you don't want to pay for rallycross wheels and tires, then you have an option that is also useful in the winter. Though I'm aware very few people actually rallycross, so I'm sure that message is only useful for like 5 of you, probably. Okay, here's the snow line. Let's see how these things grip going up. I'm not gonna say that it feels like I'm driving on dry pavement, because I'm not, but the amount of feel that I get in the wheel and just the limited slip that I'm getting on this surface, it's really quite remarkable, the difference. And I know this isn't news for anybody who's ever driven a winter tire, but for those of you who haven't, be aware it's a very different driving experience. It's like you drive on winter tires and you're like, oh yeah, now I get it. Now I know why you spend the money on having an extra set of winters if you're in a climate where snow is not unusual, or you find yourself often tracking over passes. Okay, the temperature hasn't really dropped it. I'm just eating up this surface. Eating it. Even rotating the vehicle, I can still use a little bit of thrust to kind of rotate that back around. It's one of the benefits of Subaru's all-wheel drive system. But the grip is there. I mean, if I want to slip, I can really push it, but you can do that with all seasons on wet pavement as well. Here, it just gives you so much more control over the vehicle. Now we have to ask the question, how much better is X-Mode with winter tires? Do we even need X-Mode 2, or can X-Mode 1 get us up the climb? Let's find out. I'm really curious. We haven't done this in advance. This is as you see it. For those who are a little unaware, we actually film these documentary style. Literally, we do this all in the order that you see it, and we do it without pre-testing. So there are no shenanigans here. This is what you see is what is happening. Now we're going to try X-Mode with the Vredestein Wintrac Pro tires to see what's the difference. First, we're going to go ahead and start in snow dirt mode, which is the first level of X-Mode. If you have a vehicle that has only one type of X-Mode, it's this one. And we're going to go ahead and start. There's a little slip. Now, we've had a couple of the vehicles go up and down, and of course we've already taken this vehicle up and down the same course. So I'm going to try to track in the soft stuff. I'm going to try to go off the beaten path, as it were, which is obviously going to be more difficult because it's the non-compact path. And we'll see what this does. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way left over the track, so we really take off traction off of these two wheels. And let's see what this does. Yeah, we're lacking traction. All-wheel drive is pushing power around. No problem. I'm just keeping my foot in the throttle. Now, XMO Type 1 will retard throttle a little bit so that when you put the gas down, you don't get as much power right off the gate, which is good because you really want to be able to have smooth power going to the wheels. And I mean, let's just compare how this looked when I went up here in all seasons. Right now, yeah, okay, it's struggling for a little grip on a incline on rocks, but is it a problem? Not really. I haven't even switched to Type 2 yet. Haven't needed it. Type 2 is for very special cases, when you really need a lot of wheel spin. As it is right now, I have plenty of wheel spin, and it's pushing it up. So we're still just in snow dirt mode. Haven't needed to add anything. I'm going up a fairly steep incline. I think this is a 20% grade, covered in snow, rocks, traction control. I mean, everything's off balance. Some wheels don't even have ground under them, and it's working fine. Wow, that was really impressive. This has just been so easy. See, no problem. Way less fuss than with the all seasons. Now, I know you're probably saying, Ryan, when you went up with the all seasons, nothing had been up there. It was pure snow. Well, that's why we have phase 2 right here. So phase 2 here is tricky even without snow. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of vehicles have trouble with this. So we are gonna see some struggling. It's just nature of angle, gravity, all-wheel drive, that kind of stuff. But let's just see what it looks like with winter tires on a crazy slippery surface. I mean, this is iced over. So I have ice and powder snow. That's it. Oh, and it's on top of rocks on an incline. And 2 wheels at a time only have traction. Can it do it? Does it have enough grip? Yes, it does, apparently. Now, can I do this without scratching the paint? Subaru hates it when I scratch the paint. Okay, so I'm still in snow and dirt mode. And this is really steep right here. I'm climbing out of a hole. No problem, apparently. Dude, these tires are great. Now we'll back up and see how well hill descent control works. I haven't had to go to XMO Type 2 at all right now. And it's letting me down, and it's approaching at 2 miles an hour on the steep stuff, 3 miles per hour when it's a little smoother. Totally under control. Nice. Cool, I'm like, yeah, let's just go into the mountains in the snow. We'll try before and after. I have in my head how it's going to be. This was better. This was way better than I was expecting. For Driving Sports TV, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like. Do you like these kind of videos? Let us know. These type of videos are more challenging to do, so you won't see them all the time. But we're game if you are. But we need the views and the subscription. So hit that button, and we'll see you next time.